everyone wants to become a millionaire with crypto, but majority are clueless on how to get there. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact portfolio I actually have to make millions and also to help you becoming a millionaire. So let's go into it. So to become a millionaire with crypto, it's far more difficult than people think. It's not simply as let me buy a stupid shit coin, a meme coin, and become a millionaire. Even if that happens, if you make money without actually knowing how you got there in the first place, you will end up losing. So this is the portfolio that, in my opinion, not only for this cycle, for the next 5 years, which I think will be the 5 projects that will actually succeed. They're already succeeding, but will be $1 trillion assets, all of them. So let's start with my biggest allocation, which is Tau Tensor. So Tau Tensor is 40 to 50% of my portfolio, even more than that. But for the sake of this presentation, and also shouldn't be all in one project, should have at least 2 to 3 really good projects. But Tau, in my opinion, is the one that has most potential. So what is Tau? Tau is like Bitcoin for AI, while other competitors don't have any product, pure speculation. Tau is building what I call the decentralized brain of the internet. Tau has 128 subnets. Each of these subnets are trying to solve different problems. Super decentralized like Bitcoin, fairly launched. 21 million Tau will ever exist. And the consensus is also pretty unique. Instead of having just basic like Bitcoin trying to find if the hash is correct or not, with Tau, use the computational power to create intelligence. So I think is a really generational opportunity for Tau. AI is just starting, and you will need decentralized AI. You don't want to have a few people having the control of the biggest technology we ever had. So Tau is basically trying to help in that direction to decentralize AI, and is already proving that with decentralized AI, with the power of the right incentives, you can actually compete with the biggest centralized corporations in the world. So for me, Tau has everything, has all the conditions to become a Bitcoin kind of project, or Ethereum, to become 500 billion to $1 trillion asset. Very new project. Majority of people don't have any idea about Tau yet, but I would say in the next few months / years, everyone will know. I think this is a top 5 project, and I think will become actually top 3. So this is my first conviction. Let's now look at the chart. So Tau is in a massive accumulation. So if you look on the weekly chart, Tau has been between 200 and 700 for quite a while. The chart doesn't look bad if you look on the weekly. If you look on the daily, looks a bit choppy. If you look on the weekly, actually is in the accumulation zone, is actually today having a massive candle. For Tau, is essential to close above 400 first, and then if it closes above 500, which is the next level of resistance, this is going to 700 really quickly. Even if Tau does a 10x, which I think will do a 50x in the next 5 years, 50 to 100x, is still massively undervalued. You have Cardano, you have Tron, you have so many coins that don't have any utility on the top 10, and Tau with 128 subnets powering the next wave of decentralized AI, even at a 10x from here, is still undervalued. So my target is 2 to 3K this cycle. You have the halving in December, which 50% of the supply of Tau is going to be cut. So you're going to have less inflation, and you're going to have a lot more quality subnets too, more scarcity. So that should create a supply shock for Tau. So in terms of chart, I think we are getting out of a massive accumulation zone above 400, 500. This is going to fly. So this is my biggest bet, my biggest conviction. Second one is Hyperliquid. So Hyperliquid, around 20-30% of my portfolio. Hype is like a decentralized Binance, Coinbase, but you don't have to do KYC. It's very fast and even cheaper. Liquidity is amazing. They have an amazing team. It was fairly launched as well as Tau, biggest airdrop ever. Tokenomics are also very, very good. So in my opinion, has everything to succeed. Decentralized exchanges is a big narrative, and now you are seeing so many other projects trying to copy what Hyperliquid is doing, like Easter, backed from Binance. But Hype, in my opinion, all the ingredients. I actually use hype to trade, and the user experience is really good. So they have everything: user experience, they have the use cases, amazing team, tokenomics, and another part that's really important, they are making 100 million per month in terms of cash flow, in terms of revenue, makes more money than Ethereum and Solana combined. So Hyperliquid, in my opinion, has all the ingredients also to be a top 5 project. So after Tau is my second biggest conviction. Now, Solana, I would recommend to have 20% on this. Tau and Hype, a bit more risky, but have more, I'd say, potential. But Solana is a must in everyone's portfolio. So for me, I would have 20% on Solana. So Solana is where everything is happening. Very decentralized. Not as many people say it's not decentralized. If you look at a few metrics, it's almost as decentralized as Ethereum. We're getting there. Lots of validators, lots of activity. Majority of projects are launching there. So for retail is also very important because it's very cheap. So for me, Solana, very undervalued still. When you look at the chart, I'm also going to show the chart of Hype. So if you look at Solana, currently we are at 220. I think easily this gets to 800 to 1,000. No problem. So one of the best projects, fast, cheap, it scales. So I think it's inevitable for this to become top 2, top 3. I think it's better than Ethereum. Of course, Ethereum is very decentralized, very secure, but it doesn't scale, it's expensive. So I think Solana, and I'm going to speak also about Sui, are the 2-layer ones that I'm most bullish on because they have the community, the team, the technology. So we should have these two performing really well. Chart-wise, Solana also looks good, very close to all-time highs, which is around 300. So we should have Solana, I think, this cycle going to 900 to 1,000. So looking good for Sol. Now let's look at the chart of Hyperliquid as well. So Hype has one of the best charts in the crypto space, clearly uptrend. We are also in a accumulation zone on the daily. As you can see, we've been in this 40 to 50 range for a while. So for Hyperliquid, it's essential to close above 50. Above this is going to double easily from here. I think Hype does an easy 10x this cycle too, 5 to 10x. And if you look in the next 5 years, I think this is also a $1 trillion opportunity. Doesn't mean it will go to $1 trillion, but has all the ingredients to become a $1 trillion asset. In the future, you might even have stocks being listed on Hyperliquid and so many other projects being built there. So definitely bullish on this one. In terms of momentum as well, momentum is getting to the extreme lows, to oversold. So we should have a move from here. Now let's look into Sui. So I think Sui is one of the best tech layer ones in the crypto space. Very fast, very cheap as well. Competes with Solana, and I think the technology is even better. So after Solana, I think Sui is the one that is going to capture. Also in terms of stablecoin, Solana and Sui are starting to get more adoption. Of course, Ethereum is number one, but Solana and Sui are getting there. So Sui, I'd recommend 10%. And then, of course, the last one, Bitcoin. I only gave 10% to Bitcoin because Bitcoin went from 15 to 100 and almost 30K. And I think if you look at the cycle, Bitcoin is going to reach at least 200K. But I think other coins like Solana, Sui, Tau, Hype are going to perform better than Bitcoin at this stage. If we were at the beginning of the bull market, I would have maybe a 50% allocation to Bitcoin. But at this point in time, I think there are other coins that will perform better. But in general, if you have any other coins, I could add here Chainlink 2 for interoperability is another coin I could add to this portfolio. But other than that, you'd actually be better off with Bitcoin or Ethereum than 99.9% of the crypto coins. So these are the ones I really see with value that will gonna be here in the next few years. But other than that, Bitcoin should always be in the portfolio. I'm just a bit more leaning into risking a bit more at the moment. But actually, if you look on the long term, I think all these projects, Tau, Hype, Solana, Sui, are going to perform really, really well. So I think with these 5 projects, let's also look at Bitcoin. I think with these 5 projects, you can become a millionaire, to be honest. I think the next 5 years, all of them will do 10, 20x easy. I think Tau and Hype, especially Tau because the market cap is so low, has a potential to do a 50x from here. So I think these coins can actually make you a millionaire. And those are my biggest convictions. So Bitcoin, I think, reaches 200K. If you look at Bitcoin power law, also shows that that should be the top of the cycle. Every single cycle we had, we topped at the orange line. If you look now, is also showing us 220K. So these are the coins, these are my portfolio, and is also managing other people's portfolio. And these are the coins I recommend, and we are where I am allocated. So that's it. Thank you very much.